And that said, I'm not gonna steal more time with my poems. As I say, I would close the session with two more. So I'm going to call to the virtual podium Norma War. Welcome to this session, Norma One, to you. Is she here?
Mama,
can you
yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. Hello, everybody.
Yes.
I'm so happy to be here. First of all, let me thank all of you for letting me join you together with this in this great work, great journal. Thank you, Reshma. She's the one who introduced me. Actually, when she said that I'm a brave writer, is because I talk about her poetry in my country in an international meeting in my country, and I was not. Reshma is a very brave poet also. So, well, if you read Reshma's work, you will know. The first poetry that I'm going to read is, because this is about river, I'm going to read The Klong Ripples, which I have written when I went to Thailand. The Klong Ripples. Sawadi. I know you, Chow Phraya, though you don't remember me. At your bank, yellow garlands hanging on the neck of a small goddess, calling the spirit to hide between cleavages. A saffron-robed monk sits in prayers by your river. Temple of dawn glittering with gold leaves, chanting, dispersing through the dry monsoon wind, and fall into your gracious body as I sail on your water. Long ripples, life of strong men and women who haul in catfish and small young females, flashing, timid smiles, telling more about life after dark. Tattooed strong arms rippling your ripples. I see them, though they don't see me. The sweet smell of your water and the peasant's life. Tell me again about luscious coconut ice cream and tempting noodles. My hands feeling the wetness of their fingers as I release some bud into their palms. I hear them, though they don't hear me, splashing sounds of little urchins diving into your body, looking for coins of that lonesome loy krathong, and the soft dance of hairpin floating with the tidal flow. I realize your con, your music, though you don't realize it, the fifat of winds and ripples in the splashes of your water, the Klong ripples. Sawadi, Menam Chow Phraya, Sawadi. Thank you. Can I read one more? A short one? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you may. Yeah.
This one is this one is entitled Mural. Mural. I love you so much, but you drew a mural on my face with a spiky painting brush. The color that drips is crimson, then red, then black. Those are the colors of my blood. I bore your fingers, carving my face, stifling the agony that rose to my lips and silenced. My love, you are carving a mural down my face, down my spine. It hurts like that childbirth. The one labor I will never regret. And now, You're piercing the spiky brush right into my heart and left there to dangle my life out. The pain is real. Though you don't see me cry, my body is not a mural that no one understands but you. Thank you. Okay. I think that's enough too.
Thank you.
Or shall I read another one, a short one?
I think you have time for another one if you want.
Okay. This one is when I have 3 boys. Just for introduction, I have 3 boys, and then I don't have any girls. I have 3 boys, and actually, I lost my baby girl, to when she was small. So I wrote this one for all the women in my country. Cloak of femininity. We are born draped in the cloak of femininity, so delicate and flimsy, yet woven with the thread of strength. To understand it is like swallowing a myth, as soft, supple, and succulent as the white drops of life that we suckled from the breast of a woman who was once a daughter. She was born wearing a cloak sewn using the thread of submission, intricate with the design of lovely roses, which could turn scarlet if worn with uncouth desire. If I gave life to that one daughter, I will use only silk to clothe her, so soft she would not feel it when it falls off from her sphere of existence. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Norma. Beautiful, poignant, also painful poems, but treated with a lot of sensitivity. They were all rich in imagery, so thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for sharing these 3 poems with us. So the second poet of this session is Syed Ali Ahmed. Syed, microphone to you. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Can you? Okay. I have 3 poems. The first one was published in Teesta, I think the inaugural issue, so I will begin with that. It is titled At Kosi, 11 kilometers from Almora. Now, Kosi is a river that originates from Kausani, which is about 50 kilometers from Almora, and passes through Almora until it joins another river at Kakri Ghat, where Swami Vivekananda meditated. My friend Jaideep Sarangi ji would recall that.
Yes.
Yes, you pass Kakri Ghat, yes. Everything returns, realize the Buddha. The river, timeless, yet new each moment. The lifeline of Kumaon, the Kosi, meanders and is still at the place named after it, then flows down again. This pause by the side of the temple of Lord Shiva, from where years ago a woman waved to me with the fragrance of jasmine that entered my blood. I also return to the river, the lifeline Kosi, that flows almost the same as on that day. The woman hundreds of miles away, but I can see her there on the steps. The fragrance of jasmine fills my being, while the pujari chants Om Namah Shivaya. The quiet majesty of the mountains, the soft flow, sitting on the dark rock with feet in the water, listening to the temple bells, timeless, transcendent, peace that transports, rejuvenates, and the pujari chants Om Namah Shivaya. My second poem, it is written during these times of Corona. It's a short poem titled Dying. Dying patiently is so difficult. A stroke of the pen that kills a character in a novel, isn't that a consummation devoutly to be wished? A tired body, drained mind, fortified emotions, camouflaged with a pasted smile, double entendres for how long? The giant killer is the web, self-woven, trapped with no exit, till the final twitching of the toes and a hiccup. And they say, Corona is deadly. The third poem is titled Daughter. They kill her before she is born. The sweet little girl who would cuddle up to her father, feels safe in his arms, ask him to narrate stories to rock her to sleep. It's also the women, more loyal than the king himself, who conspired, as if they had penises hanging between their legs instead of guns. Terms like patriarchy, gender colonialism, theories, jargon, all mind-boggling. Books, research papers, lectures, seminars justify everything. But where are the primal instincts, primitive emotions, feelings natural? Have our hearts become so fortified that we become cruel, unnatural? My daughter senses my fear, holds my hand while crossing a traffic-laden street in Delhi. Would I, a sensitive man, a poet, have done this to my father? No. If you have time, I can read one more. I've already done 3. Do I have time?
Yes, please.
Okay. This is quarantined poetry. Poetry is also in quarantine in times of Corona. Sanitized words, washed phrases, filtered ideas, socially distanced feelings. The body demands intimacy, the fruits of desire, but the troubled mind censors, castigates, blocks even the flow of words. Wash them 100 times, but the words won't leave the smell of the earth, the soil that nourished them. Desire too shall remain lurking in a corner of the mind, stronger each day, unfulfilled, waiting for the end of quarantine. Thank you very much, Professor Sarangi, for giving me this opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Syed. Amazing poems. I resonated with all of them. And the first poem and the last, yes, thanks a lot. In particularly, the first and the last one made me think about something that the South African novelist Bessie Head wrote in a novel, When Rain Clouds Gather. She said that there are rivers on the rivers on the land have dried up, but there are rivers inside us all. And I think it makes sense in a session like this, where, you know, especially also with the reference that you made to the quarantine, where now we are all isolated, and the rivers around us seem to have dried up. But it's sessions like this that make allow the rivers to keep on flowing. So thank you for those poems.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Wonderful.
Thank you. And the last poet of this session is Pankajam. I'm passing the microphone to you, and I look forward to your poems.
Good evening, everybody. I'm so pleased to be amidst all of you. And I'm a nature lover, so let me read a poem on nature first. This is from my poetry collection, Bunch of Blooms. The title of the poem is, I Know Why the Birds Sing. Chuckling, chattering, you swoop and loop in a style amidst curling clouds and mist. Look snug and shy, possess poet soul, chirps echo in the air, show the world you are in love. Perched on trees by the river's rim, dazzling in drops of vivid hues, rainbow wings and wings sleek. Notes you sing in tuneful voice, like a midnight choir from afar, to awaken me from avid dreams. In the wilderness of woods, in the silence of wastelands, you sing to flowers wild, like a fragrant wine, with a pounding heart, for nature to hear your secret aids. In the solitude of autumn, on mossy trees in meadows, branches bare and brown, leaves bent in grief, you sing in winter sweet, notes sweet and mellow, to announce spring is here. I know why the birds sing. My next poem is from the same book, My Experiment with Truth. At the dead of the night, when flowers wait for lovers who have so much to say and hear, from the roving butterflies, trees sunk in sorrows stand stone dead, bewailing from within over the ominous solitude. And when the moon curiously looks into my bedroom window, I furtively wear the hat of a poet to tell the world truth clothed in lies, so far unsaid, muted, half said, or shouted. Compel my eyes not to drift off to sleep, nibble at the edges of the pudding of poems, to discover my level of ignorance in making them, and stand at the fringes of their complexity as stuck in the pit of my stomach. I train my mannered seal to eat only from their hem instead of gobbling from the center, not to burn my tongue in the process, and wait for the sun to return to the horizon to light up the sky and root out the breeding inadequacies from my mind. And my third poem, can I read? Cheer up my pen. Wish I wander in the world of words, but my pen refuses to touch the paper. Words seem to have gone in exile. Seek fun in a hide-and-seek game with me, and I fail to discover their hideouts. I search and search in right earnest to pour down my sorrows in black and white, clad in the veils of conspicuous verses. Words, I summon you, come and cajole me, acquire my sorrows, wistfulness, my memories, my cravings, consents, and my dreams, my joy, laughter, love, and longings, my fascination, my fervent desires. All these I offer you in an open packed future, for I want you to dance in a merry mood on the wings of tides, clouds, and winds with the musical ensemble of my verse. Verses, once you emerged on stone slabs that adorn the ancient temple walls, the bearded prophets sung in divine praise. Those earned space in our holy epics. The palace singers were honored by the kings who enthralled the imperial listeners. Peasants fostered them in farm dialects, and bards in curvaceous scripts. Movie songs made folks spellbound. People got hooked to journals and small screen. Why then you cover from my passionate pen? Let me forget the looming fear of rejection and forever keep my hopes bright and strong. Break from the cage and cuddle me soon. The poet in me needs to cheer up her pen. Thank you.
Thank you, Pankajan. And your reading reminded me that poets are storytellers, something that sometimes we tend to forget. And that we tell stories that talk about the connection that we have with the world around us, with the seen and unseen forces that surround us. So your poems were charged with urgency and agency. So thank you for that. I was mesmerized. So I will, as I anticipated, I will close with two poems of mine. The first one, it's a poem that I dedicated to my dear friend J.D. It's actually a found poem written out of an interview that he made in a journal. It's titled "Watch Me Growing Old," and it was published in the Poetry Portion, a South African journal. Watch me growing old. She's a language, gives sense to truth. Winged imagination is witness to its past, grasping at the wind. The suffering lots of the red soil join hands into the dark embrace of silence. A humble man brought up in a forest, a folk as honest as prayers, practices the art of absence in a sea of riches. He writes poems mostly at midnight, when solitude on a pleasure ride engulfs lamps waiting in fear of losing sight. His pen moves towards necessary lines. Watch me growing old, with time and an old bottle of wine. My gray hair are an asset. Don't ever walk away from the dirt of life, and you will achieve inner perfection. So that was my small tribute to my friend J. Deep. And then I will close like thank you, J. Deep. Like my friend Syed, I will also end with a poem that I wrote for my daughter. And since we are celebrating rivers, I also chose this poem because it was inspired by a line written by the South African poet Malika Ndlovu that says, "The river was an immortal mother." The poem is titled Father and Daughter. Once I took my daughter up the mountain to watch the wolves run. I always enjoy dipping back into this memory as it becomes yarn, string, or thread. How would you spend the next 100 years if you knew they were your last? I asked her. By asking, what am I great at? What can I give to the world? She said. Baking cupcakes, playing cards and searching for gold, she added. 5 years later, still searching, with simplicity she reminded me to always ease the moment. Somewhere deep inside my soul, a tiny bone shattered. The change was subtle, but awakened my interest in butterflies and buds. After all she gave to me, I needed to honor her, and it had to be done through a poem. I went looking for her and found her sitting on a riverbank, waiting for me. The river was staring at her. It followed her guiding eyes. Fish were surfacing, like memories of childhood days, to take pieces of bread from her cupped hands. Thank you. Thanks a lot. This was my last poem. And with that, I give the microphone to Reshma to wrap up this wonderful, I think, session. Thank you to all the poems for sharing their works with us.
Thank you, Rafael. This was indeed such a good session. I'm so happy. I have no words. Very, very beautiful poetry, and we are traveling through different countries, different times, different continents, and I think the sentiments are the same. So now so thank you very much. I hand over to Jaideep to introduce the next coordinator. Yeah, please. Thank you.
Wonderful voices. Thank you so much, all who made this possible in this particular session. And thank you, Rafael. Thank you, Pankaj ma'am. Thank you, Mawar. Thank you, Amit sir. We all could connect. We all rivers are connected from Koshi to the Ganges and to Teesta to Krishna. No, all rivers have one flow, flow of the heart, flow of poetry. Move on to our third phase. It will be chaired and curated by, of course, none other than Chinia Metro. Over to the foothills of the Himalaya.
Thank you, Jaydeep. Thank you very much. In this session, this is the third and the final session of this poetry reading. In this session, we have three poets. First is Kamal Kumar Tanti. Next, we will go to Boshrudhara Roy. And third is our chief editor, Jaydeep Saringi. I will briefly introduce